Hey, what is going on, Freedom Fighters? Welcome back to another Break the Chains media. Today is Wednesday, March 4th. We are Change Wednesdays 2026 coming at you live. Having a great old time here in the Mile High City, Centennial State. It is a gorgeous, like 70 degrees out. It's fantastic. I don't even know winters. We just gave up on winter, folks. We are springing forward on the calendar next week. So the clocks, make sure you roll forward your clocks, jump ahead an hour for, it's all ridiculous. It's all dumb. Time is relative anyways, as Einstein put it. Nothing really matters anyways. We're all just here spinning on a rock through space around a big burning inferno. So that is what we're doing. We're just living the best moments every day we can. As the sun is up, guns are up, and we're having a good time. So thanks for joining me here on Break the Chains Media. We're going to go over some rather interesting, rather eye-opening information regarding the goings on and the happenings with regarding Tina Peters, regarding Jared Polis, regarding another former Democrat senator who was convicted of 4 felonies. She only got a light slap on the wrist, but she had more felonies than Tina Peters. And there's a lot of people saying, "Oh, there's a window of consequences. That's why that there's a leniency when it comes to various cases and crimes and the intent of said crimes, and that's why that you can have a minimum sentence or a maximum sentence, and that's why Tina's in jail for 9 years. But the other senator had just probation and a penalty and a financial penalty. So we're going to get into all that because Jared Polis has just recently come out speaking on the disparaging level and degree of justice, the level of a very apparent 2-tier justice system here in Colorado. And for anyone with eyes to see, it's pretty apparent that these two instances, these two cases, were very similar in the felony charges and very different in their sentencing and conviction. So we're going to get into that. We're going to see what Phil Weiser had to say, Jenna Griswold, Kyle Clark, the usual pulpits, the usual propaganda pulpit here in the Mile High City. So we are going to be smashing through all of that, discussing just that general area of, I wouldn't say election integrity per se, but it does intimately revolve around elections, election interference, election integrity, our Secretary of State, Jenna Griswold, what happened with Tina Peters, and then it follows back into the justice system and how this justice system is broken and corrupted as well. So we are getting into all of that here on Break the Chains Media. If this is the first time joining, smash that thumbs up button. Be a part of the Chain Breakers. Be a part of the Chain Gang here on Break the Chains Media. We do live streams 3 times a week. At least, and making videos, doing all the good stuff. So be a part of it. Smash that thumbs up button. Follow me on all the social medias, whether you want to do Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble. I prefer Rumble because Rumble's the best. Rumble's where it's at, or whatever works for you, honestly. So, but you can also check out the landing page here at breakthechains.media. That is the website. That is the landing page. Scroll down here. You can find all the URLs, the social media links. On the upper right corner, if you want to support the channel, Realm Walker Hot Sauce, that is the official sponsor of Break the Chains Media. Handmade, home bottled hot sauce. Travel the 9 realms of Norse mythology through hot sauce. From mild to extreme heat. You've got green. You've got these varying green flavors here. You got a chunkier, milder green one. You got a step up, which is like, this one here is like a green Tabasco. And then you have the Muspelheim, or no, this one actually is this one is my habanero carrot. Habanero carrots in the works. We got some gallons working of habanero carrot. It is a good seller. I wouldn't say it's the top seller, but a lot of people like the habanero carrot for sure. It's got that spice, but it's also got that rooty, earthy deliciousness. I see that, Will. YouTube never. I've given up on YouTube. Honestly, I think I was talking about trying to make a different channel and see if I could link the new YouTube channel to this and see if it actually will notify. But you know how YouTube is. But support the channel here. You got Muspelheim, which is the roasted red pepper and super hot red peppers, and then you have the smoked chocolate Douglas. And Apocalypse Scorpion and Green Chili, that is the hottest, that is the spiciest, but it's also the best. So that is where we are with Realm Walker Hot Sauce. Follow Realm Walker Hot Sauce on Instagram, or reach out to Break the Chains Media and grab yourself a bottle and support the channel. Without further ado, we are jumping right into it. We're going into it, being a part of it. But today's stream is going to be just kind of like an open-ended discussion, and feel free to jump in the chat. What do you think? What do you feel? Because we are talking the Colorado judicial system, the Colorado Justice Department, the Colorado rule of law, and the double standard and the two-tier justice system. Rules for thee, but not for D's, right? And I have, I did, I don't want to be like, I was the first one to talk about it, because I really wasn't, but I did post about this like last week. I'm rolling all the way back. Where was it? The first time I actually posted about it, it was here. This is from February 27th. I'm pretty sure I even put it, I'm even sure I included it in the live stream that day. I think it was, I can't remember if I did a live stream or not, but on February 27th, news broke that Senator Sonia Lewis was sentenced to 2 years probation and 150 hours of community service after fabricating letters during an ethics investigation. She was convicted on 4 felony accounts. This is reported from Jeremy Joyola. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's French, Italian, or American, but I'm assuming he's probably some sort of Central or South American, because that's probably supposed to be an H sounding. Yoyola. I don't know. I'm white. It's fine. We're gonna deal with it. It is what it is. But yes, he was on the scene reporting, and I commented. I said, so Tina Peters gets 9 years for 3 felony convictions, but this fraud gets 2 years probation and 150 hours community service. Talk about blatant partisan favoritism, right? And you got all your other family and friends here commenting, all the other familiar faces, concern for Colorado. Colorado deserves better. All this stuff. But here, check this out. And this is the kind of stuff we're going to be talking about, folks. Is the fact that these were the log files. These are log files from the CQL service that manages the election database. This is the log files that were different or different sizes. Files are different. Original files have been replaced with new ones. Previously 116 files, now only 71 files. This is the face of fraud and corruption, okay? And when we're talking, obviously we're talking about Tina Peters and this former state senator getting vastly different convictions on their sentencing. But it does come back down to the Secretary of State office, the Attorney General, Phil Weiser, the Secretary of State, Jenna Griswold, all of these individuals that are holding positions of power, that are holding positions of political authority, and how they tip the scale and how they operate their office, right? Ties in with the elections, ties in with how the rule of law is implemented. You've got Phil Weiser. What lawsuit is he on against the federal government right now? 55 or 56? Phil Weiser filling out his 56th lawsuit against the Trump administration. This goes to show you the level of blatant partisan hack, just debauchery, unruly level, and the weaponization of the rule of law in Colorado, and the two-tier justice system, and the I'm going to pull up some articles here, but I just wanted to show you that February 27th, was that a week ago? I reported on it, as did Jeremy, where I got it from. But I mean, this is, then I scrolling through, and then the Iraq War happened, or Freudian slip, the Iran War. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. But yeah, just some other testimonies, other stuff like that. Fantastic. But this is. We're going to touch on this Heidi Ganahl post that I brought up yesterday. I know we're kind of rattling through stuff, but I'm just I'm setting the table here, folks. I'm setting the table, okay? But we'll get back to this. Since we're here, it's a good way to start into the deeper connection, the deeper conversation that goes with the Tina Peters double standard tier justice system, right? So, from Heidi Ganahl. 3 years of investigating Colorado elections. We found 600 password leaks, Remote access in 12 counties. 400 unmonitored drop boxes. 30,000 undeliverable ballots lost. Fraudulent ballots counted. Over 100,000 improperly counted votes. She's got the full investigation here. I'm assuming this is gonna shoot us over to the Rocky Mountain Voice from last year's report. Yeah, exposing Colorado election failures. How citizens' pressure uncovered what officials tried to hide. Okay, so this right here is part and parcel to why and how Tina Peters' case, the Tina Peters trial, was weaponized against her, even though Tina Peters was standing out there and putting herself on the line in front of everyone, trying to bring this corruption to light. And the justice system weaponized against her, threw the book at her, and fully sentenced her to the harshest abilities available by Judge Barrett down in El Paso County. El Paso, Mesa, I always get it mixed up. I think it was Mesa County. Mesa County. El Paso's Colorado Springs, Mesa County's Tina Peters. Get it mixed up all the time, folks. But yes, this is how we got to the position we are in. Because of the Colorado corrupt election process, because of the Colorado corrupt election system that's being operated by a Soros-backed Open Society's Jenna Griswold, right? Media called me a conspiracy theorist. Right after that, Griswold leaked 600 passwords proving that I was right. Why won't the Senate Republicans pass the SAVE Act? Ask me this. Ask a question. You'll get an answer. Will Long from Will Long on YouTube. Phil Weiser files a new frivolous lawsuit every time he opens his mouth. I think at this point he's got a stack. He's got a stack of papers, barely peeking over his eyes. How many different lawsuits he's filed in his tenure? Absolutely ridiculous. Why won't the Senate Republicans pass the SAVE Act? It would require proof of citizenship to register, remove non-citizens from the voter rolls, share voter data with DHS for verification, establish criminal penalties for registering non-citizens, and require voter purges every 30 days. Makes perfect sense. Common sense. It's too easy almost. It's almost too easy. Patriots are busting our asses to fix elections in Colorado, and Senate Republicans won't do the bare minimum. Are they corrupt, owned, afraid of what we'll find? Probably a bit of all three, wouldn't you say? A little bit of everything? Something is very wrong. We've got to pass the SAVE Act or admit you don't want secure elections, right? Absolute facts. Denver failed. Drops in the truth again. Jenna Griswold. I've got this video. We could actually pull up this video. Actually, yeah. You know what? I'll do this right now. Let me give me 2 seconds, folks, because you know me. I am the producer, editor, content creator, media personality, jack of all trades. Every little bit of it. I forgot to send this to myself. Where is it? Yeah, is it here? Is it that one? Is it that one? I think it is that one. Yeah, I think it has to be that one. Or was it that one? Was it a 140? Was it this one? I think this is a 5-minute one. Yeah, we're gonna send that one. Did I already send that to myself? Maybe I already sent it to myself. See, this is... Sometimes we get caught up in the fray, folks. We'll send that. It'll send that over. Maybe it'll take longer than expected. Either way. We'll see if it'll get there. If not, yeah, this is... I have this video on my phone, but I'm sending it over to myself. The DOJ has sued now nearly 30 states for sensitive voter records that they don't have a right to. Why don't they have a right? Jenna Griswold, why doesn't the DOJ, why doesn't the federal government have a right to the voter records? Why not? If it's a federal election, why don't they have a right to it? If they're U.S. citizens, if they're legal residents, why doesn't the DOJ have a right to the voter rolls? We will not help Donald Trump undermine our elections and hurt the American people. This bitch God, she is so insufferable. She is literally like nails on a chalkboard, cookie cutter responses, broken record. She's like a case of the body snatchers, right? She just looks so strange, just so unnatural, so evil, right? But yeah, so Jenna Griswold's tied to all this. They're all part of the same. It's all tying together here, folks, and we're painting a picture here. I'll show you. Where is it at? If they can audit the election publicly, then everyone would know. See the problem? Right. Are you saying if they can audit the election publicly, then everyone would know? Meaning that, like, the problem being the fraud, the problem being the corruption, or are you suggesting that that's why Jenna Griswold is refusing to release it, because she doesn't want it to be done publicly, which would expose private voter records, right? I don't think that's what you're saying. I'm assuming you are suggesting the former, not the latter. But I do believe I understand what you're saying here. Let me fix my hair because I look absolutely ridiculous. My hair, you know, folks. Sometimes it's hard looking beautiful. And other days I look more beautiful than others, but it is what it is, folks. You're stuck with this today, okay? You're stuck with this. Let me see here. This is where we're at here, okay? I'm just doing the timeline thread, the thread cleanse, and then we're getting to the articles, okay? Everyone's coming out swinging. I mean, pick one. Right. I mean, I picked that the problem is that one's fraud. You either are dealing with fraud or everything's on the up and up. Right? And to me it just doesn't make sense. Jenna Griswold's argument does not make sense because she is claiming that the federal government doesn't have access to our citizen registration for our voter rolls. Why would that not be federally within their purview, within the federal grounds, within the federal legal law to have and obtain our voter roll information as citizens of the United States? Right. And that's what's going to be exposed. The exposing of the corrupt, rigged, fraudulent system, the broken system that Democrats have been operating in Colorado since for sure 2013, and arguably prior to 2013, right? I use 2013 as the launch point because that was when we had the Democrat supermajority. We were allowed to pass the universal mail-in ballots for the whole state of Colorado. So everyone got mail-in ballots. We voted through mail-in ballots in 2013, and then a few years after that, we were able to do the automatic voter registration through the DMV. Now, anytime you ever interact with a government institution, whether it's Department of Health and Human Services or the DMV, or go get your there's even times where you go to you go get your a fishing license, right? Go to the Parks and Wildlife. Are you registered to vote? Anytime you're involved with any sort of government agency, are you registered to vote? Hey, just asking, are you registered to vote? Do you want to be registered to vote using your information? Anything. So the government does it at every step. And I'm not saying that in itself is a problem. What I am saying is the automatic registration, using their data, using that information to automatically register individuals through those government agencies. I feel like that's a problem. Having the opportunity to register, maybe, for example, let's just play a hypothetical scenario, right? Hypothetical scenario. Go to the DMV, get your license, get your personal identification card if you don't have a driver's license, and then they say, would you like to register to vote, or are you registered to vote? And you say no, or yes, or whatever it is. And then they say, okay, well, if you'd like to, take 5 minutes out of your time here, and we can use a separate website that operates directly through the Secretary of State's office, that operates independently from automatic voter registration. See, that's the problem, is that when they take that information from any avenue, whether it's the Department of Health and Human Services or the DOE or the DPW, you name it, the government institution automatically registers you with that information, asks you to do it, and then it just happens. And then once you're automatically registered, whoa, I didn't mean to do that. Once you're automatically registered, then it's up to the individual to remove themselves from the ballot if they're not valid voters, if they're not accurate, if they're not legal residents, if they're not affiliated voters, whatever have you, if they don't want to participate, whatever the case may be. Once you're in the system, it's almost more difficult to get yourself out of the system. You either got to prove to, you either have to have someone prove with a death certificate that you're dead, show that to the Secretary of State, or prove that you moved with a different address with your name on it. And even then, how do we even know at that point? How do we even know that you were removed from the voter rolls? How do we know that you were either proven inactive or completely removed from the state voter registration? See, this is the problem, and this is what Jenna Griswold does, and this is why we have so much discrepancies with our voter roll information. Okay, I know I kind of I kind of ranted on that for a minute, but hey, it all ties together here. So, as of today, yesterday, you name it, everyone's coming out swinging in regards to the blatant double standard in Colorado's justice system. Tina Peters got 9 years for 3 felonies. Let's just do this, because I told myself I wasn't going to record because my hair looks like dog shit. But we're just going to do it, man. We're just doing it. We're just living it. It's just happening, okay? It's just going to happen. Y'all got to deal with it, okay? Everyone coming out swinging in regards to the blatant double standard in Colorado's justice system. Tina Peters got 9 years for 3 felonies. Former State Senator Lewis got probation and a fine with 4 felonies. Felonies of the similar type, mind you. A complete miscarriage of justice. Polis signals possible clemency for Tina Peters, comparing sentence to lighter ones given to state lawmaker. And we're going to get into that. I've got articles for it. We're just going to pull it up right now. I'm just giving you the headlines right here. This here is a statement from Attorney General Phil Whiny Weiser. Attorney General Phil Whiny Weiser regarding his opposition to granting clemency to convicted former county clerk Tina Peters. I'm not going to say this whole thing in Phil's whiny, weaselly, sniveling accent. We're not going to do this. Reducing the sentence of former clerk Tina. I'm not going to do that for you. I'm not going to suffer. I'm not going to suffer you through that. Exactly. Curse the king. Clemency now. 100% agree. Let's go. You get the treasure chest. Let's go. Reducing the sentence of convicted former clerk Tina Peters for tampering with election equipment would be a grave miscarriage of justice and dangerous for free and fair elections. Notice, anytime you hear a Democrat say free and fair elections, they mean fraudulent and rigged elections. We know this, right? We know this. My office worked with Mesa County District Attorney to prosecute Tina Peters and hold her to account. The judge imposed a reasonable sentence on Ms. Peters for her crimes, particularly in light of her lack of any remorse, and she should serve her time. I'm not even going to read the rest of this, folks. This just fires me up. This makes me so, like viscerally angry. The fact that Phil Weiser stands there and pulpits this bullshit, this lying, propaganda, scheming, partisan hack job, scumbaggery. Absolute scumbaggery. Keep Phil Weiser far away from our governor's office, far away from anywhere else he can harm and corrupt this state further than it already has. Top cop of Colorado here, calling that 70-year-old Gold Star mother Tina Peters deserves to serve 9 years in state prison. Take a long walk off a short pier, Phil. Stoper84, what is going on? Appreciate you coming in here, man. Hell yeah. No, you're good, dude. I see you. Can't talk too much, but I'll be listening. I hear you, man. Thanks for being here, brother. Appreciate you. So commuting Tina's Peter sentence following the president's pressure campaign would be a serious injustice and send the wrong message to would hold attempt to tamper with our elections. Our elections are already tampered with. Our elections are already rigged. This is the thing. This is the big tell, folks. The big tell is the fact that Attorney General Weiser and Secretary of State Jenna Griswold are the ones committing fraud and election rigging in our state elections here in Colorado. They themselves are accusing their enemies of that in which that they are guilty. What is that? The Solinsky tactic? Is that what it's called? Will, I know you know what I'm talking about. Solinsky rules for radicals. You know, that is the tactic here. So yeah, Phil Weiser coming out in opposition to the conversation of clemency. Okay, we got a great article here from Ash in America. Ash in America, she's on Badlands. She does all kinds of great deep dives. She had her own case against the election snafu that happened in 2020. Fantastic. She's got her own Substack, so go check her out. Ash in America, ASHE. But if you haven't followed, I'm sure everyone's already following her. But great article here. If you're not sold, even with Governor Polis making the case, I laid it out here. The link is in the comments. Either we have an equal justice under the law or we don't. Under Phil, it's sort of like we don't. Ask me how I know. Right? Yeah, this is all here. This is as of yesterday, right? Yeah. Thanks for being here, Will. Appreciate you hanging out. Gandalf's got something to say for you. Appreciate you, Will. Thanks for being here, man. We'll see you next time. So this is why this is all coming to light right now, because Jared Polis, on his personal account, mind you, on his personal account, Jared Polis came out yesterday saying, last week, former state senator Sonia Yaquez Lewis was sentenced to probation and community service after being convicted of 4 felonies, including an attempt to influence a public official. The same exact felony that Tina Peters was convicted of. And Tina Peters got 9 years. Okay? Attempt to influence a public official. The same exact thing. Let's keep going. She made a horrible mistake, and she was wrong. I hope she learns from this and we can rebuild her life. And she can rebuild her life. As someone who has known Sonia as a friend for many years, on a personal level, I was glad to hear she isn't going to prison, which is a hard place for anyone. No less a retired 68-year-old pharmacist. But it is not lost on me that she was convicted of the same exact felony charge as Tina Peters. Attempting to influence a public official. And yet Tina Peters, as a non-violent first-time offender, got a 9-year sentence. Justice in Colorado and America needs to be applied evenly. You never know when you might need to depend on the rule of law. This is the context I am using as I consider cases like this that I have sentencing disparities, which is why I have extended the deadline for clemency applications until April 3rd. I will be making decisions on these cases throughout the remainder of my governorship. Who'd have thought about that, right? Talk about a treasure chest on that one, folks. Yeah. Yep. This is, mind you, folks, we are on the bleeding edge of this news, okay? We are in the front lines of election integrity here in America. Colorado is on the front line of not just election integrity, but the justice system, but the proof that our judicial system is far broken than anyone could imagine. It has been weaponized, it has been usurped, it has been bastardized against the will of the people, against our own constituents here in Colorado. They have a 2-tier justice system, and this is 100% point proof. Let's keep going. Okay? from the propagandist, you know him, you love him, Kyle Clark, the Colorado propagandist. Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold says Tina Peters should, quote, get no special treatment from Governor Jared Polis, calling Polis a statement hinting at clemency for Peters, quote, shocking and worrisome. Griswold's statement is below. I'm not gonna speak like Jenna Griswold because I wouldn't know what to do with myself afterwards. Tina Peters was found guilty of 3 counts of attempting to influence a public servant along with 4 additional felony and misdemeanor counts. That is incorrect. That is incorrect. Tina Peters was found guilty of 3 counts, 3 felony counts of attempting to influence a public servant along with 4 additional felonies. No. And misdemeanor counts? Incorrect. She was sentenced to 3 felonies and 4 misdemeanors in total. So that was already worded wrong. And this is the little sniveling, lying, slime bag shit kickery that Jenna Griswold does, right? She lies by manipulating the truth. Beyond 1 count in common is not accurate to suggest that Peters and Sonia Yaquez Lewis's actions or impacts are the same. Peters organized the breach of election equipment, broke the public trust, and attacked the very foundations of our democratic process. Her actions are still being used to try to undermine the 2026 election. She should get no special treatment by the governor, and his statement is shocking and worrisome. No, Griswold, you yourself are a criminal and have been weaponizing you have been weaponizing the Secretary of State's office against the people of Colorado. You yourself have hidden election equipment and you've leaked BIOS passwords. You have used this Tina Peters case to further consolidate power and control into the Secretary of State's office so it cannot be independently audited. This is the corruption. Okay? Where is did I have it? Oh no, it was here. Because I wanted to Ash in America's article here. Is this just a picture? No. She's got her article on Substack. So I was going to read I'm not going to read the Substack on this, but the Substack is there on the post for everyone to read. Highly recommend checking that out. But all of this ties together, folks. We've got several different articles. I've got one from Deborah 7. I've got one from National News Today. It all kind of talks about the same thing, folks. But I will read one of them in particular here. Yes. So, this is it's rehashing the same stuff. So, let me see if I have it here. Yeah, these articles here. Sentencing disparities. Yeah, this is the one I wanted to read. Why it matters. Why it matters. Colorado Governor Jared Polis has suggested he may grant clemency to Tina Peters, the former Mesa County clerk currently serving a 9-year prison sentence for her role in the data breach scheme following the 2020 election. Polis has highlighted the disparity between Peters' sentence and the probation sentence given to former state senator Sonia Yaquez Lewis, who was convicted of the same felony charge. Why this matters. The potential clemency for Peters raises questions about the fairness of criminal justice system, whether the political considerations may have played a role in the sentencing disparities. As a high-profile figure in the false claims of widespread voter fraud, Peters' case has drawn national attention and pressure from former President Trump. Not just pressure, folks. Donald Trump pardoned Tina Peters. On a federal level, he was pardoned. Tina Peters was pardoned by the president, and that in itself is proving the powers of the presidential pardon and how it should extend all the way through past unrighteous and weaponized judicial systems in state courts. State courts that have been compromised, that have been corrupted, need to be held to account. And how do you hold corrupt judges to account? Here's the thing, folks. What is the remedy to corrupt justice in a state? Who is the one responsible to hold the judges accountable? It's the Attorney General. The Attorney General has to press charges against unjust judges who rule unfavorably or unfairly in cases. So the attorney general has to be the one to be in charge of the. This is how the branches of government operate. The attorney general makes sure that the justices are applying the rule of law evenly. What happens when you have a corrupt attorney general, Phil Weiser? You've got Phil Whiny Weiser as the attorney general, who's thrown lawsuit after lawsuit against Donald Trump and the federal Department of Justice and the federal government. And Phil Weiser is running for governor, and these state and municipal judges get appointed by a governor. All of this is tied together to show that there is multiple back scratching taking place. Backdoor deals, handshakes behind closed doors, back scratching and handshakes, right? That's what it comes down to. And these people are all watching out for each other. And right now, someone is going to take the big brunt of the stick. Someone is going to take a big wallop of the federal justice hammer. And I truly believe that person that they're going to throw under the bus is going to be Jenna Griswold. That's my personal opinion. Because these other individuals like Weiser, like Polis, have other aspirations, whether it be Senate, whether it be U.S. Senate, whether it be presidency, whether it be the governor run, you name it. But Jenna Griswold is the lowest one on the totem pole when it comes to it, right? She's the runt of the litter, as it were, in the political sphere here in Colorado. So she would be the one to get the full weight of the law thrown at her for the corrupt behavior of the election rigging process, of the corrupt, the BIOS passwords leak, the registering of illegal immigrants on voter rolls, the DOJ failure to release voter roll data to the DOJ. All of these things getting that Jenna Griswold is intimately tied with. That's what she's going to get thrown at. That's what's going to be thrown at her, right? Both Peters and Lewis were convicted of attempting to influence a public official, but the circumstances of their cases differed. Peters was found guilty of allowing an unauthorized man to access Mesa County election software, while Lewis was convicted of submitting fake letters to the Colorado Senate Ethics Committee. Despite differing details, the charges were the same, leading Polis to suggest the sentencing disparity was unjust. One of the few times I will agree with Jared Polis. In late January 2026, former state senator was convicted of 4 felonies and sentenced to 2 years of probation. 2020, Tina Peters was not convicted in 2026. She was convicted in 2024, I believe, 2023, 2024. Tina Peters was convicted on 7 state charges, including 4 felonies, and sentenced to 9 years in prison. Okay? So, yes, Governor Polis has extended the deadline for clemency applications until April 3rd, suggesting that he is actively considering granting clemency to Tina Peters. So, folks, if you're a praying individual, if you are a person of faith, please put Tina Peters in your thoughts and in your prayers to make sure that this woman gets the justice, gets the freedom that she deserves. Granted, I know Polis is going to try to use this as a cudgel, as a political cudgel to say, look at the good thing that I did. I'm Jared Polis, and I granted clemency to Tina Peters. That's going to be Polis. You know that's going to be Polis. But what it all comes back down to is understanding the two-tiered justice system, understanding the level of corruption, the level of manipulation, the level of washing each other's hands when it comes to the judicial, the legislative, and the executive branches here in Colorado. And Governor Polis this is his swan song year, folks. This is Governor Polis' last year to do anything and everything he wants. So he's going to do a lot of things that people might not be expecting from Polis. And one of those things is, it very well could be granting clemency to Tina Peters. It would be nice to see her out sooner than later. You know, a win's a win. Whether it's from Polis granting clemency or them agreeing to Trump's pardon. But at this point, you already see Griswold, you see Weiser, you see everyone else saying a presidential pardon doesn't apply here. Okay, well, guess what, Polis? Time to nut up or shut up. right? Put your money where your mouth is. I know you put your mouth plenty of places there. You go to the Pride parades in June. You go to the gay games. You name it. I'm sure you've been plenty of places with that mouth, Polis. But put your money where your mouth is and grant clemency to Tina Peters. She deserves it. She needs to be a part. She needs to be part of the free society out here on the other side of the walls. And you know why that they're afraid to do this so much? You know why that they don't want to do this? It's because she knows where the bodies are buried. She knows how the system was corrupted. She knows how the election rigging scheme happens in Colorado. She knows exactly what Jenna Griswold did to weaponize the election system, the election process, the BIOS passwords, the software system. She knows how all of that plays into the process in which Colorado manipulates and rigs elections. And that's how all of this is tied together. It's a two-tiered justice system. Tina Peters is a victim of it, and she knows where the bodies are buried, so they don't want her out of the public. They don't want her out talking to people. They don't want her doing interviews. They want her behind bars so she can't say things, so she can't bring light to the truth about election integrity, so the SAVE Act doesn't get passed, so the whole process remains broken. The election process is intended to be broken on purpose. So the D's and the progressives and the leftists can use it to keep their voter base, to keep their power, to keep them in control, to make sure that real citizens who want to change for America don't get the opportunity to do it, right? That is the big scheme. That is the big picture playing out, right? But yeah. With that being said, that was a 20-minute video segment. Holy shit, I just recorded all that. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. You know what really sucks about when I go on rants like that and I talk about this, that, and the other? It's piecing it all together to make it all make sense, right? And to try to make it quicker, concise. I know you guys all enjoy me hanging out in the live stream. Stouffer, I see you there. I don't know who else is hanging. Yeah, I think we are going to be landing the plane. Don't know. Oh, I just pressed the button on the thing. That's fine. No worries. No big deal. Don't need that anyways. Yeah. So other than that, folks, I got a couple other things we could land the plane with right now. What the heck? Yeah. So we have. I did post a bunch of new videos. A bunch. I say two. Short videos of my testimony. For anyone who didn't see it yesterday, I did the testimony with Senator Sullivan with the cigar ban. I made a short clip of that. You can find that on YouTube. I posted that on my Instagram and my YouTube channel. So I have a 10-minute segment and then I have a 3-minute segment. I got the short, but I also got the 10-minute or two. So if you want to hear a fantastic, awesome moment where I use anti-gun rhetoric to argue against an anti-gun legislator trying to pass a cigar bill. I know that's a mouthful, but you'll understand it when you watch it. Absolutely hilarious. Share it with any pro-gun individual. Share it with any pro-gun proponents of the Second Amendment, because it is rather funny. It is rather hilarious, and what I did there, yeah, it's right here. So feel free to find this, share this. It's obviously easier to share on Instagram, but you know how it works. You know how it is, folks. But with that being said, folks, I think we are going to be landing the plane. I can do some other things here. Let me see if I can find who else is live right now. Do I have anyone else that is on right now? Let me see. Do I have Owen? No. What about no? I've got that. What about who else is live? Oh, I know how I could do. Yeah, we could do this. I think yeah, no, maybe. Why aren't you working? Why aren't you showing up for me? Okay, there we go. I just had to get the URL. Then we are going, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. That's fine. We're going to go say hi to our buddies, okay? We're going to go say hi to our buddies on the Quiet Part Pod. Okay? Because that's what we do here. We represent, we support, we hang out with our other friends. Folks, I do appreciate everyone hanging out with Break the Chains Media. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Share this video with your friends and family. Look out for future videos. I got 7 videos coming out of various different testimonies, various different moments to stand up and protest and be involved, be engaged with your community. Sign up to testify on good bills and bad bills in your state legislature, because now are when the sessions are happening. Now is when your voice can be heard, whether it's city councils, county meetings, or state legislation. Okay, check it out, be a part of it, be in it. Okay, because that's what we need to do. That's what we need to. That's how we change the narrative. That's how we move the needle. Okay, that's how we break the chains. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do it. But without further ado, folks, thank you all for being here. Appreciate y'all hanging out. And as always, fight for freedom and never give up. And go over to the Quiet Part Pod. Appreciate y'all being here, folks. Rock and roll.